Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes reading for June 5th. So, it is finally the start of the PvE buffs. I think consistently every week they're probably going to do a cycle of maybe like 4 or 5 classes, and then all the classes are going to get buffed throughout the next couple months and through the Heidel Ball. And so, yeah, we're going to read these together. Hopefully your class gets the buffs this week, and then everyone else gets a nice buff. But anyway, all these notes are translated from Korean to English, so if you want to read it yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. I'll try to make it make sense regardless. All right, let's see. The class PvE balance changes are now starting, essentially. We would like to inform you that if necessary, improvements to combos, cooldowns, and adjustments may be made to minimize the impact on PvP. That sounds like a good thing, but let's see. All right. The adjustment is a buff for classes with low PvE damage output, aimed at narrowing disparity in PvE damage across all classes. That's good. All right, let's see. Ranger. So this is Succession Ranger. Admittedly, I don't have too much knowledge of Ranger. So let's just look at the numbers and see if big number gets bigger. From 4,000 to 5,200, that seems pretty good. 1538 to 3,000, crit rate 100%. That's actually double damage. And PvP, like when I see these PvP numbers over here, I assume it's the same thing. They're just kind of scaling it differently, so I don't really take that into account too much. We look at PvE damage numbers. Hit damage from 1863 times 7 to 54 or 5247 times 5. You know, overall, I think that when they minimize the number of hits, like they've done that huge change a while ago, many years ago, I think that's a good thing because lag, latency, and everything, you know, will affect everyone differently. So instead of having, like, for example, 1,000 damage times 10, I would rather it be like 2,000 times 5. So less hits, more damage. That like more or less neutralizes lag to an extent. So I always like these kind of changes when they're minimizing hits and stuff like that. So that's a very good one. Damage, minimal buff, and raised the base damage, lowered the last hit, or increased the last hit. Cool. These are flows, I believe, just basically almost tripled the numbers. That's cool. Cooldown reduction from 11 to 7 seconds. That's huge. If you're a ranger, chances are anyone that's good at their class will love cooldown reductions because it allows you to flow your combos a lot better. So that one, a 4-second cooldown, that's actually very good. Yeah, overall, rangers seems pretty good. Berserkers in the PvE changes once again. You know, okay, before I look at anything, I want to say that the amount of changes and buffs throughout all the global labs that I've read about Berserkers, like, first and foremost, happy for you. Anyone that plays Berserker, like, is probably good, you know, good buffs. No one likes getting nerfed. But this tells me that Pearl Abyss has no idea what they're doing when it comes to Succession and Awakened Berserkers. And the amount of changes I see, I think Berserkers are just overall very strong. Maybe not the most in terms of damage output, but utility for both PvE and PvP are very strong. Your passives, you have more health than others. That's more of a PvP thing, but that's still good regardless. 2, you have that one jump thingy where you can just mouse move across point A to point B and fly. That's very strong. Berserker 100 and 200 BSR, very strong. Some classes don't even have a really good 100 in general. So I think utility-wise, Berserkers are good. And, you know, that should be the trade-off for your high damage output. But apparently Pearl Abyss wants Berserkers to have all-in-one and be the flavor of the month once again. All right, let's see these numbers. Just damage output, no like hit minimizing, more damage. Let's find a good. Let's see. These aren't like drastic PvE changes, but they're good regardless. Oh my god, like this is the Raging Lightning. That one's the one where you slam on the ground like 15 times, right? I don't know. Think these are different names than the English one. But you know, I would it be OP if they just multiplied that number and took that hit from 15 down to like 5 or 10, like cut it in half and then just increase the damage? I feel like that would be kind of OP actually, now that I think of it. So when that one, yeah, I mean overall, I think Berserkers, their damage obviously increased, but it's not like Ranger where it's tripling their damage in terms of scaling. So fair enough. Succession Woosa. I actually really like Woosa. I personally prefer Succession over Awakening aesthetically, but yeah, Awakening just damage output significantly higher. So anyway, let's see. Just normal damage increase. There's no hit multiplier changes. Just damage across the board increase. Yeah, cool. Nothing much to say there except I hope Succession Woosa can compete with Awakening now. Succession Maegu. That's like all of their main skills. That's like everything. Cool, more damage. Dosa, Succession. I'm not too familiar with Dosa, but isn't the Awakening the one that buffs, and then Succession is just the big damage one? Awakening is support, more or less. Well, not support, but has more support abilities. Let's see. Why does this even have 4 hits, and why does it have these stupid multipliers like this? Might as well just take out 3 and 4 and then boost the numbers on 1 and 2. Or even just take out the 4th hit because lag and latency, and then boost it for 3 hits. I mean, that will, like, they can effectively make the damage output the same, but the hits will actually hit. I hate this thing so much, the 4 hits, but it is what it is. Damage output. You know how they do like things where it's like here's a multiplier on the 2nd hit and then back to normal on the 3rd hit. Just make things consistent, buff the damage numbers and have it like consistent damage increase on 1, 2, 3, but 1 times multiplier. Like, what were they thinking? Yeah, like this one, you know, a max of 7 hits, and then they buff that number. They could just do that consistently above all the other skills. More damage. Cool. Uh-oh. Yo, Deadeye is getting buffed. I thought Deadeyes were actually very, like, top tier. Are they not? I just thought Deadeyes were really good, and they didn't have any problems. They can hit things off screen. What's the problem? You're supposed to trade damage for range. That's how all these things work. I'm convinced that Prolibus just like, here, these have low damage, but they don't look at utility for the rest of the class kit. Like, you know, Berserker was that example where they have everything else that's good. And now on top of all the utilities, they have a damage. So like, I hope when they buff the classes without a grab or anything, they multiply that number like significantly as a trade-off. I pray for the upcoming weeks. Um, cool. The crop health stat that decreases when crops are attacked by birds during cultivation. Oh, farming has been changed from 4% to 0.25. You might as well just remove this mechanic if you're going to make it that. So, like, also, I'm pretty sure 99% of people, they have the workers on your farm. Like, yes, it's probably a little bit less XP per cycle, but if you're going to nerf it down to 0.25, you might as well just remove that mechanic straight up. Like, they already kind of drastically changed farming, which I think is overall was a good change. If you don't know, they made it from like every time your crops would cycle every couple hours. Now it's like once a day, and then it works offline now, which good. But yeah, it is what it is. Improvements in the number of exchanges for Imperial training delivery orders. This is the only thing really worth getting, because for people who want the treasure item for, you know, their wagons for unlimited usage, essentially, getting the Imperial horses is kind of annoying, actually. If you don't know what the treasure item does, you know how, like, when you're riding on a wagon, you use stamina? It's kind of like riding the horse and it has stamina. The lantern, essentially, you can go without stamina usage, which is actually really good for people who AFK train their horses, or, you know, all that stuff 24/7, and you just never use stamina. It's good. That's my goal in the future. Bulk processing for certain items. Flora and secret books. Let's see, how do you do that? Oh, just add a blackstone powder. That should have been in the game, you know, when they introduced this item. You know, some items have it, some items don't, but that should have been in there like 5 years ago. But glad it's late than never, for what that's worth. The storage location of the following items changed from pearl items to the regular bag. Will be next week. Oh, okay, this is good, because the turn-in for these flower petals, for all of you who are life skillers, knows that it's annoying to have to exchange it on another character and then get it back to your main. So I'm glad they're putting it into, you know, regular bag now. City of the Dead, Ezerheat Highlands, loot adjustment. That's a good thing. City of the Dead was pretty bad. I like to make jokes about that. Ezerheat Highlands was good back in the day, and then it fell off once, you know, Edania came out, and people were making like 4 times the amount of silver there. So for everyone who's going for telescope pieces, this is a good thing for you. Will these beat out Tungrad and Darkseekers? Let's find out. Trash loot from 2 to 4 to 4 to 6. That's good. Boss 122.10 to 222.50. That's pretty good. Will this make the spot good though? I guess we'll try it out next week. We'll see how the spot is. I thought I was done with that spot forever once I got my telescope, but we'll try it again for another hour or two next week. Ezerheat Highlands. I actually really like this spot. It was unique in a way. It was like, it's not the first tower spot they ever added, but it was the one that was kind of fun, that had different mechanics. So anyway, 100 to 110 to 200, 240. Basically double loot. That's good. Okay, so these are dungeons, the Black Shrines, I think. So the little archers that they spawn from 8 to 10, Calamity 8 to 10, will fall into a stun state when attacked from behind while fleeing from a nearby enemy. Okay. I think this is Oduxini. The movement speed of the tracking emblem summoned when defeating thingy has been increased by 70%. what are we talking about? Tracking emblem. Oh, so you know in the second phase when you have to bring the color to the brazier, I think that color follows you faster. That's my understanding of it, and that's a good thing. The attack power of the Edania boss Enslar, Capris, Demon King of Wilderness, I think that's Capris, right? Like, has been reduced by 7% compared to the previous level. What is the previous level? Wait. I think like 99% of people aren't even at Capris, assuming that's what it is. But, well, when you get there, it'll be nerfed. That's fine with me. Fixed an issue where name and health bar were visible when Enslar and Capris teleported. Who reported that? That is such a non-issue. Base battle. Blue battlefield. The image for the base has been changed. Are they gonna show a picture of what changed, or are we just gonna have to guess? Revisions and changes. Doom would look differently during various skills. Fixed an issue where remote installation of auxiliary buildings and construction node war did not proceed, or not node war, but blue battlefield. Okay. Fixed an issue where the attack damage from Black Wings was not being applied. Listen, you know the Black Wings event? If you died to that boss, you probably had 0 gear, and I mean 0 gear, because that thing, first and foremost, that thing dies in like 10 seconds, even after the change. And 2, that thing doesn't even hit that hard. Just go in with seasonal gear, and then you'll be like 100% safe. Awkward terrain in the Kislev area. I think that's near a little further past Altanova has been improved. I could list so many places with awkward terrain in this game that, like, I think Pearl Abyss would have, like, literally years of work to change things. But, you know, that's their job, not mine. Okay. Fix an issue where bottle filled with seaweed water instead of river water when gathering near Curio has been changed. Actually, probably a good change, to be honest. And a lot of other issues that majority of people don't have. All right, well, that's today or this week's patch notes. I think that, you know, some of the PvE changes were interesting. The one I do agree with most of them. Rangers probably deserve it. Berserkers, not so much. Succession Woosa in particular, they deserved it to match Awakening. Succession Maegu compared to Awakening also deserved it. Dosa, I think Dosa could, like, Succession in particular deserved it. Deadeye, well, Deadeye really is one spec essentially. I don't know. I don't have enough experience with Deadeye. I just thought they were in a good state overall, and my understanding is if you have good utility, like, Deadeyes can hit things off map, because, you know, that's how range works with the class. I thought their damage trade-off to be able to hit things off map was intended, but apparently Pearl Abyss thought they were weak, but it is what it is. You know how in other MMOs, you can have, like, a spec of trading off. Like, if you are attacking things from, like, closer range, not, like, standing in their face melee, but, like, they have distance damage bonus. Like, if you are farther away, you do more. Mid-range, you do, you know, less. Isn't that kind of how Archer plays in a way? I'm not really too sure about that. But either way, Deadeye, I'm not sure about Deadeye, but I agree with most other things. Berserker was kind of questionable. And yeah, that's about it. Anyway, with that said, That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to see you guys come back. We got a lot to talk about next week. During, when this all goes live, we'll be testing a lot of the grind spots that he talked about and everything. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.